This is WGRG 100.5 FM, where we meet the absolute minimum FCC broadcasting standards. It's time to hang on and brace yourself for a community radio program that's frankly indescribable. Let's talk Geneseo. Two guys with nothing better to do on a Friday morning but to talk about our community. Geneseo City Administrator Brandon Meglin and City Alderman Keith Kennett. And yeah, nobody, and I mean nobody, puts the blah in blah, blah, blah like these guys do.
Well, morning, Brandon. How are you this
morning, Keith?
This wet Friday morning here in Geneseo.
She's a melting out there.
Yes, that is true. I was just speaking with Adam before the program that, this isn't snow, it isn't ice, so we'll take it.
Absolutely. I mean, by the middle of next week, other than the piles that are around town, we should be pretty well melted off.
Well, there you go. So we're definitely looking forward to that. But as always, we look forward to all of you out there that are listening to this edition of Let's Talk Geneseo. I'm Keith Kennett, along with, as usual, Brandon Meglin. And special guest today, Adam Brumbaugh. Dr. Brumbaugh is with us on the program this morning. One thing I should point out, though, to those that maybe are viewing this on TV 50 or Roku or Fire Stick and all the other things that, through the great help of James Roothouse, you have the opportunity to watch and see this on. But we moved the camera location. So you can see Brandon nicely. You can see Dr. Brumbaugh nicely. But you notice you can see right this kind of bald, shiny spot in the back of my head. You can kind of get a good view of that, too.
I feel like you got my bad side.
Yeah. But I think it works out. It works out better. It's better than the seeing my face and the backs of everyone. It's probably just better for everyone to see the back of me.
Yeah.
And the nice faces of our co-hosts and guests.
Starting to look like a real talk show.
Well, we're getting there. Baby steps, Brandon.
Yeah.
It's baby steps. So with that, though, we will start it off. I guess I gave away a little bit who our guest is this morning, but Brandon, we'll let you take it away here with a formal introduction.
Yep. Want to welcome Dr. Adam Brumbaugh to the program this morning. We like to start, and when we have a new guest on, to put them on the spot. So we'll do the same with you, Doc. And if you want to kind of give us, for those who maybe haven't met you outside of a formal setting, kind of your background, what brought you to Geneseo, how long have you been here, and a little bit about what you do on a day-to-day basis.
Sure. Well, this is my 6th year in the district. I applied because there was an opening, and it was the reputation of Geneseo is well known in the area and the state. And I knew that an opportunity like this for myself and for my family wouldn't come around again for a very long time, if ever. I didn't know if I was qualified, but I knew I would regret not at least applying. And at the time, I was about an hour north at the West Carroll School District, and familiar with the area because I started out as a high school math teacher in Cambridge back in 2003, 2004, 2005. In fact, my oldest daughter, Aubrey, was born at Hammond Henry Hospital back when they had the maternity board still there. And so familiar with Henry County, and wanted to come back a little bit closer to my family, which is in Dallas City, Illinois. My wife's family, which is in Keokuk, Iowa. So this got us, another hour closer. And we've loved it here. And it's the reputation is what it is, right? It's warranted, and it's a great community. It's a great district, and really enjoyed my time here.
Nice. Thanks for that. We have a handful of topics that we want to kind of dive into with Adam today regarding the school district. And, I kind of figure, Keith, that if he's willing to, we'll probably make this a quarterly thing, or maybe send somebody else from the district.
See, that's how we
Tim. I don't know. Sometimes
that's how we do it, Adam. You come in. It'll just be one time, and then we kind of, once we have the hook in you, then we bring you in for more.
Yeah. But we started to do updates from some of the big organizations in town. We've been having Hammond Henry in quarterly. Started Andy Thurman coming in as well from the Park District. So I think it's a nice thing to kind of get updates out there, and people aren't just hearing from the city government perspective. So we'll probably continue that. So diving into the school district, everybody's probably aware by now that we have a brand new, beautiful building outside of where we sit here today, outside of the main high school, the Career and Tech Center. Can you give us a little bit of insight into that? How is it going? I've had a lot of people ask me, is that open? Is it operating? Are students participating in there?
Yeah, students are in there. We moved in officially around the end of the first quarter in October. It was a little bit delayed, but with COVID, there were long delays with supplies and things out of our control. But really, once the walls got up in March during our spring break, things went very, very fast, and we moved over a lot of new equipment. In fact, just about every piece of equipment over there is new. Total cost of the project was a little over $4 million. Of that, over $1 million was donated by local businesses and foundations. That speaks to, again, this community's generosity and the way that they pour back into the school district, the way that they want a pipeline for the trades to go back into the community, right? And so we know about 25% of our kids don't go on to college, that they're going to go into the workforce immediately. And what we're going to provide them with this new facility is the latest equipment, latest opportunities, apprenticeships, through the Department of Labor and through the community. And so what we're doing is, again, trying to create that pipeline for our students. And we had an open house shortly after it opened. We had a ribbon cutting. The Chamber of Commerce came up, and Zach did what he does and helped promote that, did an excellent job. And since then, we've had groups, whether it was class reunions or other school district leaders, whether it's been some of the foundations that, again, contributed to that over $1 million in donations, come through and get to see firsthand, just how awesome that new building is.
Mm-hmm. What are the focuses in there, I guess, as far as the trades and things that students are learning?
So we currently have 4 designated spaces, but this building is designed to be transformative. It can morph to meet our future needs, right? We know that technology is always changing, and so this will allow us to grow with that. But currently what we have in there is a woods side, so cabinetry, woodworking, lathes, planing. We've revitalized our building and trades program. So if you drive over by Milliken, you'll see a new building, a new house that's being built by our building and trades program. We've got welding, we've got CNC, we've got automotive, we've got three lifts in our automotive side, and then we've got a classroom instruction side. So our kids are learning the instruction, the safety piece, and then they go apply it. We've also got some 3D CAD opportunities. Again, they design a part or a piece, and then they get to go then make it.
Nice. Yeah, what a great opportunity for students here in Geneseo. Now, do other schools, are they able to come in too? I know when I was in high school at Moline, UT, United Township, had the tech center in the Quad Cities that everybody would funnel to.
Yeah, UT still is the regional hub, and that has to be provided to all the school districts in a particular region. But we would like to be a local hub too. And so we're not necessarily trying to compete, but what we are trying to say is, out of convenience, rather than having to send our kids over there, or some of the districts that are on the outline or outskirts of that region, perhaps they can choose us rather than having to drive to United Township. So currently we are partnering with Riverdale. That school district sends some students over, and we've reached out to other area school districts to say, hey, if you're interested, because you drive right through us on the way to United Township, if you don't have the facilities and you don't want to drive through us to get to United Township, please consider us. We want to take care of our students first and foremost, but if we have room, I expect that building to be used all day, every day to capacity.
Nice. Switching gears a little bit to athletics, Geneseo High School recently announced a new football coach. Tell us about that.
Sure. So I'm not the athletic director. I'm not the football mind. So I'm going to speak to a little bit different about Matt Furlong, our new high school coach. First, I want to say thanks to Larry Johnson Jr. for his years of service. The way that he just poured into that program and into the community, he has left a legacy. in this district and for that program. But I'm happy for him because he's going to get to be a dad. He's going to get to go cheer on his kids in college as they're playing sports now and next year at the college level. So I'm just super happy for him in that next chapter of his life. And he left this program in great shape. And now the baton's been handed off to Matt Furlong. And so when I went through that interview process with Matt Furlong, there were about 30 people that were a part of that interview process in one way, shape, or form. So lots of people, lots of alumni, lots of people from the boosters, students, coaches, administrators, teachers were on these committees. And Matt really stood out. Matt did an awesome job. I'll use the word polished and poised during the interview process. Very calm, very articulate. He's going to be a great teacher for our district and for our kids. So I'm looking academically, what can he bring to Geneseo High School? He's going to bring the opportunity for some new classes to teach classes that we aren't currently offering because of his licensure. And so we've got a dual credit psychology class I think we're going to be able to offer next year and maybe some other things in the future. So I know that he's going to make our building better as a teacher and that he's going to make our staff better as a football coach and then also our community better because of that family presence and the type of man that he is.
Nice. That's great. So we couldn't have you in today without hitting on the snow day topic.
What snow, Brandon?
I mean, I feel like you're kind of the czar of what's going on. You know, beyond the plows getting out on the roads, everybody's sitting by their cell phone at. I don't have any kids, but if we have employees or staff members at the city that have issues, it's kind of right on cue, right around 5:30 a.m. for some reason. I'm assuming that's when these messages go out because I'll hear about needing to come into work late or taking a casual day off of work or something like that. Can you give us some of your informal, I guess, insight into what that process looks like? And is it you that's actually doing this, or are there standards you have to follow? What does that look like?
Sure. No, it's a great question. Many things go into it. First of all, according to KWQC, it was the second snowiest January in Quad City history. Second only to my first year here in 2019. And it was a close second. I think, yeah, welcome. That's exactly how it was. So about 27 inches total during the month of January in snow. And so, that's number one, that's an issue for everybody, not just schools. But yeah, we definitely look at student safety first and foremost, student safety over convenience. And so, I network with the National Weather Service out of the Quad Cities. They're very good about providing webinars, sometimes multiple times a day. Hey, here's what our models are showing. Here's what we predict. Schools and road commissioners, this is kind of what we see. This is what we're advising. Then, of course, I network with area superintendents. There's about 12 to 15 of us that are networking. Hey, what are you seeing on your side of the county? And likewise, working with Pinks. And our road commissioners, what are they seeing? Because here's the deal. Geneseo, the city, could look great. But we actually have more students that live outside of the city limits than inside the city limits. We have about 1,000 kids that are bus eligible every day, and our district is 260 square miles. That's one of the top 10 total square miles, across in the entire state of Illinois. So we're very big, we're very rural, and it could look great here in Geneseo or Atkinson, but I can tell you some of those county roads are not drivable, and so our buses aren't going to be able to get through those. And again, I'm not going to sacrifice student safety for convenience, and I get it. When I say convenience, I'm a parent. I've got 3 kids in the school district. I want my kids in school every day. They were getting cabin fever. I was getting sick of them. I love them to death, but we want to make sure that we're safe and that the roads are clear for our buses and for our students.
Yeah, safety is number one, and it's a great point that some of us that live and work in Geneseo, it may seem like everything's all good here, but the resources of the county and some of the outskirts, they're much more widespread with the areas that those plows and those folks have to cover. So, yeah, thanks for that insight. How about anything else coming up? Building projects this spring, this summer? What's on the docket for the district?
Well, in some ways, we're going to let the paint dry on the new $4 million vocational center, right, before we pick up any other major projects. But yet, we know that constantly maintenance has to be done. And so some of the things aren't glamorous and you might not recognize them, but we've done a lot of HVAC work over the last several years. So Geneseo Middle School has gotten some new HVAC units. They've got another one that's going to be delivered this summer. The high school is going to get some work done. We're getting new carpet at the middle school. That's a 25-year-old building. And we'd let that carpet, I mean, we maximized it. We absolutely maximized it. But when you have 600 kids every day going up and down those hallways, you're going to get some wear and tear. And so we got a new cafeteria flooring last year. We got some new hallway flooring, and this summer we're going to get some new carpet in the library, some of the common spaces, and the offices. Also, hot off the press, I would not be surprised if we don't have a kind of a little facelift to our gymnasium before next basketball season. By that I mean a new paint job in the gym. So, every so often you need to not only make sure that it's waxed and clean, but sometimes you need to kind of sand it down, go down to the bare bones, and repaint everything, redesign it. And so we're working on having a new touch, a new flair to our gymnasium floor, and hopefully that's done before next basketball season.
Nice. Well, you heard it here first.
That's right. Hot off the
Breaking
press.
news in Geneseo.
Breaking news.
Yeah. All right. And then finally, I know you wanted to mention a program that you guys have, the Grow Your Own Teacher program. What's that about?
So really excited about this program, very, very passionate about it. There is a national teacher shortage. There's no doubt about it. In Illinois, and even Geneseo with its reputation is not immune to the teacher shortage, where we might have gotten 50, 100, a couple hundred applicants for a single teaching position, depending on what it was, what subject it was. Now we may get 10. Now we may get 5. And it's just because the pool of applicants is not there. Universities are not producing teachers. And so we want to be a part of that solution ourselves, right? If the state can't fix it, how can we fix it? Well, one of the things is, informally, about a year ago, I took a survey of staff and said, how many of you either graduated from Geneseo High School or your spouse did? And roughly 2/3 of all teachers either graduated from Geneseo High School or their spouse did. So that's key. That's important right there. We want to get to our students and say, look, I see something in you. Whether you think you could be a teacher or not, I think you could be a great teacher. Have you thought about it? Number one. Number two, we're going to plant that seed, and then we're going to offer an opportunity in high school, kind of like an apprenticeship, where there's an actual course. They get college credit for it. They get high school credit for it. It's taught by Mike Harrington here. And then we partner them with a veteran teacher across the district to let them shadow. It's not a student teaching, but it's like a student helper. And they get, again, experience to say, is this teaching for me? Yes or no? Is this something I want to do? And so students that complete that program and students that go on to register and enroll at college to be in some education field, they're going to get a scholarship as well. The Geneseo Education Foundation, about a month ago, approved that, in which every kid that goes through that program is going to get a scholarship as just a token to say, thank you for your commitment. Thank you for wanting to come, to be a teacher. And we hope that when you graduate, you come back and interview with Geneseo. We would love to do that. In fact, that's one thing we've guaranteed them. You go get a diploma somewhere, we guarantee you an interview. We can't guarantee them a job. We guarantee you will be considered. Come back and show us what you're made of. We would love to add you to our staff.
Yeah. Wow, that's a great program. Yeah, and we look for opportunities to partner with the school district too when it comes to jobs and keeping folks here working for the city too with some of the different classes here at the high school and trying to get people to stay and explore some of those jobs. Yeah.
Well, it really is one of the things that, just as Adam was talking about, but what makes Geneseo the desirable school district that it is, and and it's again kind of this mosaic of many pieces that fit together. City, school district, park district, chamber, all those organizations, but mainly the individuals that have talents that are willing to get involved and donate to a particular project, or even just kind of have those those good ideas and stuff. And it's exciting to hear because certainly the teaching profession and it struck me too that you started in 2019, so you had our big snow, and then hey, COVID, welcome. And so all these challenges that we run through as a district, and a little bit as I don't want to say the outside guy, but a bit of the outsider looking in. I have involvement with the district, but I'm not, inside it every day. I have another profession and all that, but it gives you a perspective a little bit. And sitting in those, some of those school board meetings during COVID and what have you, when you just see the leadership that we have on the administrative side, and the school board and what have you, as they're navigating through all these things and trying to balance what might be state regulations with what I would say is common sense, though, and trying to make it all work, and the ability, though, to find out a way to make it work, and also having the vision, though, to see what's coming down the road, and whether it is the vocational center, in that not everyone necessarily needs to be a college graduate, and that you can actually make a very good living anymore and provide for your family by getting into one of the trades and what have you, and now this teacher program, and I don't know, I don't want to sound like the home team cheer guy, but just through my experiences, I have interactions with school districts in different parts of the state and even different states and what have you, and there really is something pretty special here. And it's nice that that there's that recognition of it, and that we seem to be able to transition through people that retire out or maybe move on. You bring in new people and what have you, but yet the system itself, though, seems strong enough to where you absorb it, and you still keep on growing and adapting and changing. So, I'm kind of just rambling here a little bit, and I don't know if there's a question or just a statement, but just a shout out, though, to Dr. Brumbaugh and to the serving as a city alderman. Probably an equally thankless position as being on school board, but the importance, though, of those positions, in that, well, that sounds self-serving, but it's important that you have good people in there with the good ideas, so that staff has direction, so that you can have these good plans and what have you. And when you do it right, nobody's even kind of aware that it's been done. It just, everything works right. And so it's just one more thing about Geneseo, that as be it the hospital, be it the school district, be it what have you, for a town of 6,500 or whatever we are, we really have a lot of opportunities here, particularly for our kids. I think we all know someone that maybe grew up here, and when you're younger, you're thinking, I can't wait to get to the big city and this and that, right up until you have kids, and man, you can't wait to get back and come back to Geneseo. And I think that's wonderful that it's a community, though, that whether it was 50 years ago or 20 years ago, and hopefully 20 years from now, it will still be that. We all play our part. So anyway, that's not really a question. I'm done rambling on that.
Yeah, and it's a good lead into a point that we wanted to make. I think we mentioned it briefly last time on the program, but to get younger folks involved in school board, city government, some of the programs and some of the leadership positions that help guide the direction of where Geneseo is going in the future is important. And, there is the interest in getting involved for younger folks. We haven't seen a ton of it. We don't have a lot of, participation in elections, which, there's different ways to look at that, but we're looking to get more people involved and interested in these things. And younger people can think about doing it. Sometimes it's hard to fit into your schedule, but it's a neat thing to be a part of. And one of the things that we're going to try this year, we've done Alderman for a Day type of programs before. This year, we are going to partner with the school district here at the high school and ask for juniors and seniors that are interested in government, politics in general, local government especially. If they have interest in anything on that spectrum, getting involved, we would like to do this Alderman for a Day program where a student would partner up with an alderman at the April 9th City Council meeting. You'll actually attend the meeting with the alderman. We're going to ask the student to present a topic that they feel is important to the community, something maybe they're passionate about or see could fit well into something maybe the council could even consider. They'll get to participate in preparatory meetings with myself and the alderman. Kind of how does the process work? How does the city function? What's the flow? What does the city structure look like, the departments from the inside? And how does the day-to-day run? So we're going to do that for an afternoon, and then it'll transition into that meeting on the 9th. So we hope that if anybody has any students out there, knows of anybody who may be interested, send them our way. We're looking for 4 students to get this thing rolling. 4 of our aldermen are going to volunteer to do this partnership on that day. So there's the pitch.
Well, and there you go. And another example, though, of the city and the school district, working together on that. And again, we could point to how many things like that. But yes, and even prior to the program here, I was talking a little bit with Dr. Brumbaugh, but about there's so many opportunities here too at Geneseo High School. In that, well, in the school district in general, but particularly the focus is on the high school. But opportunities, whether it's a passion in ping pong club, or all the athletic and the host of theater and music and all these opportunities that not a lot of schools of 800 or however many we are, really offer this varied amount, but also the quality of the programs though too. But you have those students that are, and maybe it's just a reflection, it seems, of life in general anymore. But you're pulled 5-10 different directions at the same time, and as you get into adulthood though, you find that too. Well, who has time to serve on city board? Who has time to do that in council? Who those sorts of things, and we get it. We all live that world. But this could be a way, at least, to introduce, like Brandon was saying, some younger people to, something you don't really think about too much, and hopefully, yes, it is whether you're on school board or an alderman or mayor, what have you. I bristle at the thought of politician. I would like to think none of us think of ourselves at this level as politician. You would just like to think, hey, you're somebody that wants to just try and make it a little bit better, and get involved. And so this could be a way to kind of, just show a little bit, because it's like anything. A lot of times when you actually get into it and experience it, it's different than what you thought it may have been. And it's giving the opportunity again to youth to experience that, because it might be something that they probably never would have given a thought to, but just because of some even minor little experience with it, maybe spark something. So we're gonna give that a whirl with the school district's help, of course.
Yeah.
Now, we'd love to partner with you, Keith, and you hit the nail on the head. About we want to provide something for everybody. Research is pretty clear. If a kid is involved in something, they make a connection. It could be with a club, it could be a sport, a team, an activity, whatever it is. They make that connection. They're more likely to come to school, stay out of trouble, stay eligible. And so we want those varied experiences, just like you said, expose them to a variety of things and say, I'm really good at that. I want to do that more. That's not for me. I don't want to go to college to study that. Or like Brandon said, I want to go to the workforce right away. And you can make a great living wage right away, make more than a teacher. Come out a welder, we've got this welding opportunity. Kids get that certificate with Black Hawk College right away. Boom, they're making really good money right away. And so we just want to keep providing those opportunities. We'd love to partner, continue to partner with the city to give our students those opportunities. And like you said, Keith, it's not the politician, it's that public servant, right? That everybody in those positions are public servants.
Absolutely. So a couple other things we want to mention before we wrap up today. We've got a couple minutes left. Hey, no announcements today. It's because there's a teacher's in service, right? That's why we're not hearing it in the room.
Well, I know Adam's probably disappointed to not hear the announcements, but yeah, that is a good observation. There it is, right? There's no school today.
No. No. Did want to mention, a couple things to get excited about. Everybody's kind of looking forward to spring and nice weather now. The city did get a grant to do, we may have mentioned it briefly on the show before, but upgrades to the Richmond Hill Park facility. We got a grant through the Geneseo Foundation here locally for upgrades to the pickleball courts, as well as the disc golf course. So I know that a lot of the avid disc golfers in town, and we bring people from out of town for tournaments and events in Geneseo too, are pretty excited about new, professional, competitive, whatever you call them, real nice baskets that will be going in there and replace the ones that are up there now are original to the disc golf course, which I believe are it's just now over 20 years old. Speaking with Chad about the age of that facility. So that'll be coming this spring. The pickleball courts, the grant is to one of the association, the pickleball players. One of their top priorities was to segregate out the actual courts. So there'll be fencing that is going in on the courts that will, and they'll have gates in case equipment or things need to go in and out. But for safety of the players and ease of play, the courts will all be segregated off, which is a big deal for those players too. So looking forward to that this spring. Did want to mention the Chamber of Commerce launched a pretty fun little competition to guess the melt date, the official melt date when all of the snow is gone from the city stockpile over across from on Exchange Street on the railroad tracks. So today you have to get your guess in before midnight tonight. I think they have about just over 200 guesses on there right now. Zach Sullivan, director of the Chamber, put up a little video about that. Kind of a fun thing to get involved with. I don't know, and with the weather forecast, it could be sooner than we think, hopefully. Well, than what some people think.
Get your guest in.
Yeah,
and if you want, in the city website, or what is the official location for? Not to put you on the spot.
Yeah,
Brad.
So for that one, we're letting the Chamber took the reins with that little competition. I believe the Geneseo Current, Dalkin with the Geneseo Current, they're also offering a $100 gift card for the correct guess. So everybody that guesses correct, I believe, is going into a drawing. Don't quote me on that, but you have to go to the Chamber of Commerce Facebook page to put up your guess as a comment on the video that Zach Sullivan has up. So check that out. And then wanted to mention City Council this past Tuesday had the Committee of the Whole meeting considering a new mural. This is also a subcommittee off the Chamber of Commerce, the Geneseo Mural Project Committee. Everybody's seen the 3 murals that have been done around town. Great beautification project. People actually come into town just to see the murals. Nice thing when you're walking around downtown. The city is considering one out of this project. It's all privately funded in Richmond Hill Park. So we're talking about shelter number 4. It's the big shelter just south of the new playground, kind of in between the playground and the Barn Theater there. This will be a mural that is designed by Sheila Wygant McGee, a local sculptor, which focuses on, I really love this one for city property because it's the focal point is the Isle of Flags. And then around the aisle, you kind of feel like you're looking at the perspective walking down the aisle. And then on the outskirts of the mural will be other things that represent Geneseo, agriculture, the canal. Disc golf will be in there. The Barn Theater will be in there. And so that's a developed concept that we should see this summer. The selected painter for this mural right now is Lexi Clark, who is also another local artist from Geneseo. You've seen some of her work at Ray Lynn's, soon to be the Geneseo Baking Company on Oakwood, and some other spots. She's done some murals. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, and if there's nothing else, and we haven't done this for a little bit, Brandon, but if you do have a question, comment, you'd like to just get a hold of us for whatever reason, the best way to do that is via email. And Brandon's email is?
Yeah, shoot us ideas. My email is bmeglin@cityofgeneseo.com. That's BMAEGLIN @cityofgeneseo.com. We're looking for ideas, folks to have on the show. I mean, really, for those who listen to this, we try to focus on nonprofit or organizational things that are going on, events that are going on in Geneseo when we have guests on. different topics. Shoot us your ideas. Some of the people that have came on have been from suggestions of, hey, what about this person? This is coming up. What about this topic that's going on in the state of Illinois impacts Geneseo? So let us know if you have ideas.
All right, and one thing too, I want to give a quick shout out to the high school girls basketball team. Last night was Cancer Awareness Night here at the high school. We took on our nemesis Sterling, but it was just a great event in that, in a positive way. Everybody's wearing pink. They have fundraisers and things going on, but each of the players then were playing in honor of someone, either a family member or friend that was a cancer survivor or battling cancer, or had someone succumb to cancer. But just a very just a neat event. And the game itself, unfortunately, we came up just a bit short. It was a great game, but just a bit short to Sterling. But then I thought very cool, too, at the end of the game, all the students get together. Sterling, too, holding hands, and then just a quick prayer and stuff afterwards. And so a special event, but shout out to the girls and the coaches and everybody that gets involved to make that happen. And that's just another one of those things that, those kinds of things are kind of happening pretty frequently.
It's funny you
pretty neat.
just brought that up, because I just got a text message from Rick Mills, the city building inspector, who has a daughter on the basketball team, Addie Mills, who said, ask Adam about the pink zone at the girls' basketball game last night. So must have been a pretty special thing.
Yeah, it was. And they were, I set up a little bit early with the TV 50 stuff, but the cheerleaders and other students were there, decorating with the ribbons, and they just, it was really just cool to see the place, and then it's cool to see too that at the end of the game, the army of parents and what have you, in about 1 minute it was all cleared out, and you couldn't really even tell anything had really happened. But just a cool event, and Bob Pettit was mentioning too, but that it goes back to, here's a name from the past, but Bill Menendez and what have you was instrumental in getting the pink uniforms for the players back in the day. We're not sure if these are still those players, but this is again something that started years and years and years ago, and but continues on and probably gets a little bit stronger each year, but just it's just I don't know, a cool event. So shout out to everybody with their involvement in that. And also, again, another shout out to Dr. Brumbaugh for taking the time to come in this morning, and he took the news that we're going to be having him come in regularly. He took it very well. He didn't go running out.
No, I'm thankful for the opportunity. Anytime I can brag, about the great things that are going on in this district, I'm happy to do it, because things are always happening. Great things are always happening, and shouldn't be a secret. We try to, share that the best we can with our social media, but yet we miss target audiences, and so this is a great opportunity to reach another audience, and so I appreciate that opportunity. Thank you.
Well, again, thank you for being here, and Brandon, as always, thank you as well. It's nice that we didn't have 10 inches of snow, whatever we had 2 weeks ago when we came in on Friday and questioned, why isn't anybody else out and about?
I'm used to parking on the snow pile when we come in for this show, but this week was easy.
Yes, and I don't want to, do we have any idea who we have next week? Not to put you on the spot.
We'll leave it a surprise. The announcement will come out next Wednesday, so stay tuned to the city's Facebook page.
So that's code for we don't know. All right. Well, with that, we're going to wrap it up. So again, thank you for listening. This is WGRG 100.5 FM in Geneseo. Have a good weekend.